It's your girl T here, back with the Sunday/Monday video. I know you guys are having a beautiful, blessed day because you're tea timers. It's absolutely what we do. Our affirmation of the day is, my desires need me. My desires need me. We're tea timers. So everything that we desire has a neediness for us because we're so in demand. We're irreplaceable. We're chaste. It's just what we do. I wanted to have a quick video for those of you who are familiar with how manifestation works. This will be a refresher, but I have a lot of new subscribers on my channel, so I wanted to do a little bit of a quick update on how manifestation works. Some people aren't familiar. They know the techniques, they know the tricks, but they're not familiar with the whole process of manifestation and how it works with our brain per se. I piggybacked this off Sammy's video she did yesterday where she broke it down. I myself was like, oh, that's a good reminder. When you have more people joining your channel, you should constantly be updating them with how the manifestation actually works, because in order to get the good stuff, it's good to have a basic understanding of how it works, because a lot of people logically, when they understand how something works, it makes sense why they do the things they do. So manifestation in itself works like this. Our brain is set up with a conscious brain and a subconscious brain. Our conscious brain is responsible, it's the frontal lobe brain, and it's responsible for making logical decisions. It is the one that makes the least amount of our decisions for us. Our subconscious brain makes the most decisions for us. Our subconscious brain is controlled by emotions and thoughts, and it is responsible, scientists say, for 90% of the decisions we make. And the subconscious brain is a set of beliefs and programming that we have instilled into our brain, like a hardware for a computer, over time, of repeating ourselves, reacting to emotional situations, and creating a belief from that. It keeps our memory for us. It stores it in the back of our mind. It associates feelings with past traumas, past events that we've gone through. It is responsible for the majority of what we do in our lives. That's why when people do stuff repetitiously and they say to you, I don't even know why I'm picking the same guy over and over, or I don't know why I keep making the same mistakes, you have a subconscious program that is controlling that narrative. It is repeating your cycle over and over. You pick the same guy or girl in a different person every single time, but they have the same attributes, the same personality quirks, etc. You pick the same job, you pick the same reaction to things. This is all subconscious. It has been programmed into our subconscious. The good news about this is that it's easy to change. Now, our subconscious apparently reads in pictures. So that's why when you say words and sentences, your subconscious will form a picture because it's translating it to its language. And when we were back in the caveman days trying to hunt and gather, and life was a little bit more scary for us because we had wildlife and elements that we're protected from now, in a sense, because we have houses and we've advanced as a human society into creating things that can keep us safe. Our brain doesn't know that. Our brain is still keeping us safe the way it did back in the caveman days. So when we have these, and it's still set up for those sort of situations, and so when we have certain situations that come up and they trigger us and make us feel unsafe, our brain reacts the same way it would back in the day when we had fires, earthquakes, and stuff that we weren't protected from because we were living in a more archaic way. So that's why when you feel a gravitational size emotion towards a certain situation, our brain's job is to keep us safe, and it is trying to protect. You know, when people will have really traumatic experiences and then you ask them a year or two later what happened and they can't recall the incident, that's your subconscious brain putting a cocoon around you to protect you from that instance. It'll shut things out. It will make things into different, like it will recreate the event in a different way so it doesn't hurt you as much. Our subconscious's job is to protect us. So that's why we say affirmations like, I am safe, this is okay for me, love has always been safe, because you're telling your subconscious brain that you're safe and it doesn't have to protect you and it doesn't have to steer you to a different affirmation to make you feel safe. That's why repetition is key. Our subconscious brain, it has been proven by science that approximately 10,000 repetitions of the same thought will create a new neural pathway. Our neural pathways are what form together to create our beliefs, our emotions, etc. So that's why this 10K challenge has come up, because people will put 10-minute videos with 10,000 repetitions of the same affirmation over and over, and the idea behind it is listen to it once or twice and you've created a new neural pathway. I understand that that's the way it works scientifically, but I go more by the feeling in my body. You can tell when you've created a new neural pathway or a new belief system because you will feel it. You won't feel that needy attachment to an old belief when a new belief has taken over. Like if you're affirming for riches, you'll feel like when you go in the store and you go to pick something up, you won't feel that anxiety anymore, and you won't reach for the cheap stuff because you have successfully created a new belief that you are rich and you can afford anything you want. I listen to my body. Your body is more in tune, in my opinion, about how you feel about certain things. And so this is the basis of how manifestation works. We're always manifesting because what we repetitively think about or talk about or say will create in our 3D. And the typical transition with manifestation, especially when we're unconscious, is to repeat something, which is usually a bad or negative circumstance, because that's what the world conditions you to do, focus on the bad. And you'll repeat that same event or occurrence that's happened over and over in your head, and then it will create an emotion within you, usually a panicked or anxiety filled emotion towards it, and you will have such a reaction to it that it'll keep recreating, and you'll go into victim mode, generally speaking, and say, why does this keep happening to me? Well, your focus on it and your attention on it is what keeps recreating, which keeps having your reaction to it, which keeps you in the loop of hell, is what I call it. So what we're trying to do by coming in here and repeating new affirmations and new ways of looking at things is create a whole belief system around positive outcomes, positive affirmations, positive things that are happening in our lives by repeating, journaling, scripting, basically overwriting our whole computer software system with the mentality that everything always works out for us. Our world is working in our favor. Everybody loves us. We get what we want. SP loves us. Money loves us. Our desires chase us. We are taking all the previous programming we've received from circumstances, nurture versus nature, our upbringing, etc., and we're reversing all the bad beliefs that have been embedded in us into new beliefs. So it's basically like in the computer, if you were installing a new program and getting the old programming out, that's what we're doing to our brain. So when a lot of you are writing to me and saying, this circumstance has come up, this circumstance has come up, what if this happens? No matter what circumstances occur, you can focus your attention towards the good, the positive outcome of that circumstance, and it will, if you're consistent and you're honest with yourself that you are veering away from that circumstance and focusing on the new outcome that you want. If you're being consistent with that, it will always push out in your mind, like your 4D. This is what we call our 4D, our imagination, which is what creates into your 3D. And the thing is, your subconscious mind does not know the difference between what you're imagining and what is happening in real life. So if you're imagining a red apple right now, if I say imagine a red apple, a picture of a red apple will come in your mind. Your mind doesn't know if you actually have that red apple or you're just imagining it. That's why we can use it to our advantage, because we can picture circumstances that haven't happened yet, but towards our benefit. We do it all day anyways. When you're having arguments with people, you have them in your head before they happen, etc. So we can take that unique ability we have and we can use it to our advantage by picturing circumstances the way that we want, affirming for circumstances that haven't planned out that way yet, because what we do up here creates out here. And most people have the idea that what you see out here is truth, and this is just for children, and it's just something we had when we were little kids and it doesn't do anything. But this is the most powerful tool we have in our entire body, is our subconscious mind and our imagination, because our imagination creates, our thoughts create emotion, emotion pushes out, and so do thoughts. So to recap, these techniques, affirmation, scripting, visualization, are all just techniques. They don't manifest for you. They're just techniques to get you into the state of already having what you want. Your mind is what creates. So if you're affirming all day, but in your mind, you're thinking the opposite of what you're affirming, and that's what you resonate with is what you're saying in your mind. Like, let's say you're saying, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, but in your mind all day, you're like, I can't afford that. I'm not rich. I can't afford that. I'm not rich. But you're saying these affirmations robotically, but in your mind, you're counteracting that by saying, I'm not rich. I can't afford anything. How am I going to afford that? And you're worrying about how you're going to pay your bills and stuff. Your mind's going to win because you can robotically affirm all day, every day. But what you truly are believing up here is what is going to push out. So the ticket to this lottery, the winning ticket to this lottery, is to align your thoughts with the actual, to align your thoughts to the reality that you want to see and push out opposing thoughts. It's okay to have these negative thoughts. That's our brain trying to protect us. It wants us to sit comfortably in the old programming because that means it's safe. That makes our brain feel like we're safe. You've always done it this way. I want you to stay here. Our job is when those monkey brain thoughts come in, like you're saying, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, and then the thought pops up, you're not rich. You couldn't even pay your light bill last month. Your job, the work, is to attack that thought and go, that's okay. That was last month. This is this month. I know now that I'm rich because I say I'm rich. I can pay any bill I want. I have mountains of money in my bank account. Regardless of what your bank account says, regardless of what your parents told you would be, regardless of how you grew up, that is your job, to push those thoughts out and to explain to your mind, that's old. It doesn't apply to me anymore. This is my new reality where I can afford anything I want and I am the richest bee that's ever been in my reality. If y'all have questions, which I know you will, please ask them below. I love y'all, but not as much as you should be loving yourselves. Have a beautiful, blessed Tuesday. Oh, it's Monday. Whoops. Bye.